Mr President, I move the motion standing in my name.
And it's seconded. The Honourable Mr Sims.
Thank you. Mr President, I'll speak very briefly to the motion because the focus of it is fairly clear. But this is noting the release of the Teachers at Breaking Point report, which was commissioned by the Australian Education Union, the South Australian branch, which found that South Australian public school teachers work on average over 50 hours per week, including 30 hours of tasks beyond face-to-face teaching. Fewer than 1 in 10 teachers feel that their views are valued by policymakers in South Australia, and only 1 in 5 teachers view departmental policy demands as reasonable, and almost half of all respondents intend to leave teaching within 5 years, double the rate that was recorded in the 2018 Teaching and Learning International Survey. The motion goes on to acknowledge that South Australian public school students deserve teachers who can fully exercise their commitment, knowledge of learning and learners in their context, understanding complex relationships and needs, and then calls on the Malinowskis government to commit to supporting South Australian public education by increasing the time and support for teachers to manage student needs, by reducing administrative demands on teachers, addressing shortage of staff to reduce workload pressure, increasing the voice of teachers and leaders in decision-making, and increasing support for early career teachers to sustain the profession. Mr President, I'm a proud product of public education. It's an issue that I'm passionate about, and I want to see our state's public schools getting a fair go. The Teachers at Breaking Point report, which was commissioned by the Australian Education Union, was published back in November of last year, and it really looked at what is the shifting nature of teachers' work in public education, in particular the growing complexity and increasing professional demands and the impact that that has on teachers' well-being and their ability to focus on their responsibilities. The report found that there's been a significant increase in workload, but that also the work is becoming more complex. And I did ask the Minister for Regional Development some questions about this yesterday in question time, looking at the impact this is having on the regions in particular. I do want to just pull out a few key elements from the report. One of the problems that teachers are experiencing is a growing bureaucratic requirement and an increase in the top-down initiatives that are reducing the time they have available for core teaching. They report that they're not experiencing the time and autonomy that they need to undertake appropriate planning. Teachers are feeling undervalued and underappreciated. The workplace conditions of South Australian teachers don't provide them with the time that they need to do appropriate planning. Teachers care deeply about their students and they're frustrated that they don't have the time that they would like to be able to spend with them to meet their needs. One of the things that's really interesting to note from the report is that there's an average, full-time teachers reported working on average 52 hours in the most recent full week of employment, 52 hours. And over a third of teachers reported they did not feel safe at work and did not find their workload manageable. Just 52% of respondents reported being satisfied with their job overall. And the current level of satisfaction of South Australian teachers, therefore, is in significant decline. Workplace dissatisfaction was compounded by a sense that educators' voices are not heard, and only 7% of respondents said that they felt they were being listened to by policymakers. Close to 9 in 10 teachers considered leaving the profession, and among those considering quitting teaching, the most common reason was workload. The report made 5 key recommendations. They relate to increasing support for teachers, reducing administrative demands, increasing the voice of teachers in decision-making, addressing shortage of staff and increasing support for early career teachers to sustain the profession. And you'll note that the elements of the motion that I have proposed today address those components. I really do urge the Malinowskis government to take this seriously. We're about to head into the midwinter break, and I hope that they use that time to appropriately resource our teachers.